All right, on to a little bit of a new adventure. I got a buddy from high school back when I lived in Earlville, Illinois, population 1,400. Salute. This was back in the 70s. We moved there in 76. And that was I was 13. And in the middle of Illinois in the late 70s, there wasn't a lot of music, at least not accessible. The station we could pull in this little farm town easily was WLS out of Chicago, top 40 AM. At the end of the worst part of top 40 radio in the 70s, right before disco, and let's just say I was not a disco dude. It was sort of a requirement of being remotely cool in a school that small. So with not a lot of outlets to get good music, we were kind of trapped. I mean, you'd hear about stuff every now and then. There were some magazines I read, but my buddy Gary Stanford, he was the one that turned me on to the Plimsolls and bands like Richard Hell and the Voidoids, or Johnny Thunders and Heartbreakers, the Real Kids, the Buzzcocks, Paul Collins Beat, and a lot of the LA surf punk power pop bands. But most importantly, the Ramones. And man, that changed everything. I can never thank him enough for that. It was life altering. So, anyway, imagine how thrilled I was when a couple weeks ago he shot me a note and said, I want to commission a guitar. And not only just any guitar, he wanted a V1, which I honestly didn't think was one that we were going to be making a lot of. So this is the V1. This is the first guitar that I designed from scratch and mostly built from scratch. I didn't have the nerve to do a neck, so that neck is, I don't remember where I got it. But you know what? It's pretty groovy. I mean, this is the color he wants, so I'm going to have to duplicate that. I don't remember where I got it. I think this was a rattle can, probably from Re-Ranch. Couple TV Jones pickups. But he doesn't want a whammy bar, so this is going to be a hardtail, so it's going to look more like this one, body-wise. Though it might have to be a little thicker. I think on this one, I think the reason this has never got finished is I think I went too thin. And the control selection that I was intending to do, I can't because they're too deep for the cavity. So I should finish this because it's actually kind of pretty. The neck's out in the garage waiting for the some kind of finish. So anyway, so that's where this one's at so far. And I just got from Okuch Hardwoods some beautiful cherry that I'm unboxing right now. If I can, unboxing videos are my thing, clearly. Alright, there we go. Couple of very, very nice pieces of this is a 6.4 cherry. And it's going to have a lovely mahogany neck. I'm not going to bother unwrapping these right now. So, that's what's up next. And I'm really looking forward to this build. So, here we go. Excited about this. One of the things that's been so cool about doing this guitar for Gary is it's also given me the chance to test some theories I've had, ideas I've made, things I've done. And one of them is to make a set of these interchangeable routing templates. So in this case, this is for a set of Tunamatics, or a Tunamatic bridge, and humbucker pickups. We're only doing 2, but I got 3 on here anyway. Standard neck pocket. I've got a center line etched on the back, and I've got these registration pins. So once I line the template up on the center line, and I etched the center line on the bottom of the template along with all the other markings, so I'm seeing them flat against the wood, not with any kind of weird ass parallax by having them on the top and the angle I'm sitting at. So once I have this lined up the way I want, I'm going to take this 1/4 inch marking pin. So I'm going to drill a hole all the way through there, all the way through right there. All right, so I got my groovy registration holes. This is the moment of truth. I got my little 1/4 inch registration pins that are snug, but should be just about right. Of course, this is upside down, but you get the point. Let's see, in the center line, is exactly where it needs to be. So this is how the group of templates are supposed to work with these pins if I need to do something a little different than what one template's got in it by itself. So this is the one I showed you before. Bolt-on neck, 3 humbuckers, Tunamatic bridge placement, stop tail piece if we want, or the groovy angled through body if we want. But what if I want something different? Magical sounds. And I want P90s. Or maybe with the humbuckers I want a bolt-on neck that's got the recess for the spoked nut truss rod in the body like we do instead of in the fretboard. What if I want a trim bridge instead of a Tunamatic? But it does make it a little tricky to get it off. And one of the other options, this doesn't work really for this model so much. So now, this is the one for V6 where I've got the cavity for the controls that the pick guard will go over, another trim bridge. I got 2 humbuckers and a single coil. And then on the back, then this, I could actually push these rods all the way through, put this on the back, so pretend this is on the bottom, and now I know exactly where to route on my control cavity, or my spring cavity, and the back end of the trim bridge. making the templates last night, cutting these body templates out, I was kind of bummed because I took my material for the neck blanks, neck templates, and had reserved time on the machine that was big enough to do something this long, and lo and behold, that machine was down for maintenance. So I had to use the smaller machine, which meant I couldn't do those. And even the smaller machine caused me problems because apparently if there's too many jobs in the queue, it gets a little confused when it starts cutting things. And well, it's a little CA glue will solve this problem quite nicely. But anyway, so yeah, it was one of those days for a second. I'm not complaining. The fact that I have access to these machines is just astonishing. But what I hadn't considered, and I don't know why, I probably should have, laser still has a kerf. So even though it's, you know, it's very, very, very small, it's still a kerf. So, for example, with my, so this template here was one that I was thinking maybe I ought to set up two different neck templates, one for a bolt-on, and then I should do one with a mortise and tenon. So this is one with the mortise, and here's the part that cut out. And even though it's pretty darn tight, I can wiggle it. So I've got to figure out what the kerf is, and then redesign the neck templates before I cut them and just expand them that little tiny bit. And it's going to be a little tiny bit. So let's see what that is. So I zeroed out the caliper. And I get 1.550 here at the very, very bottom of the neck. 2.0595. So off camera I went ahead and did the pickups on this as well, and I'll do the math and see if the numbers for the pickups and the numbers for the neck joint are the same. And then I'll go in and adjust my neck template Illustrator file, so when I get these things made, I've got a nice snug fit. Alright, so I've got my card with the math on it, with my numbers, which aren't as consistent and perfect as I'd hoped they'd be. I was kind of figuring for the neck pocket and then for the pickups, I would get consistent numbers. So, you know, whatever the width is, you know, across here and across there, the kerf would be within a very, very small amount of being the same for both, and the same thing with the length for each, or in this case the length. Because apparently the kerf on the laser can be a little bit different depending on which direction it's going, and the material. Since the material I'm using is just acrylic, there's no grain, as I said before, to mess with. But yeah. So anyway, this is what I've discovered. So what it looks like, I need to expand these. Turn my measuring block on. So I'm going to expand them by 0.0077 of an inch. So now that I've got my number of 0.007 as sort of an average, I got to divide that by 2, because that's the distance. That's the distance across the hole, and that's the, you know, versus the distance across the thing that came out of the hole. And in order to adjust for the kerf, I've got to divide that by 2, because there's only half on either side of each piece. I almost forgot that, and that would have been a pain in the ass. That's what that would have been. It's not much, but it should make the difference. So this is what that looks like. So anyway, I can now, when I print it out, I'll just turn off the blocks and turn off the original neck. So you can see. Now, in theory, when I cut this thing out on the laser engraver, on the laser cutter, it'll be a very, very snug fit into the neck pocket template. This will now fit perfectly into that. Guess I won't know it till I try it. But I'm gonna make like a little mini version of this, just maybe this chunk of it, and cut that out, and then test fit it into the pocket template, and tweak it on site until it's perfect. Okay, in the meantime, I'm going to test fit up the routing template and then see how the body template fits over it. And then when the sun comes out tomorrow, if it does, with all the snow, I'm going to try this for real. Well, it's still cold out. It's starting to melt. And this coming week's actually going to be not too bad temperature-wise. But I really want to I want to play with the templates, okay? I want to play with my toys. That's what I want to do. I would like to at least try to get, I'm not going to try, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get the pickup cavities hogged out with a Forstner and the neck pocket as well. Whether or not I'll go to the level of cutting the body out for this particular video, I might save that, but I want to at least get those things done. Normally I don't work out here when it's cold because I don't like cold fingers and power tools in the same place at the same time. But in this case, I think it'll be fine. So, I guess that's what we're gonna do now, is to get this big hunk of wood onto the drill press and make some sawdust. We've all seen this about 1,000 times before. Oh, look at that. I don't know why I keep forgetting that the distance from my center line to the edge of the wood is too much for the pillar. So I gotta cut the shape. Or at least I gotta cut part of the shape. I guess as long as I don't cut so much that I lose my so I decided I'm just going to use the template and get the route started. These cavities aren't big enough that I'm saving myself a whole lot of pain and suffering by not hogging out the material first. So yeah, let's see how this works. Foot switch, lifesaver. Very, very cold stiff cables, not so much. This is cool. No more taping down one template, routing the whole thing, pulling it up, positioning it, taping it down, doing it again. I am so pleased. This is going to speed up the process quite a bit. And everything is still just absolutely where it's supposed to be. So there it is. I know this is kind of a weird video because this seems to be turning into more about the creation of the template system than the actual guitar I'm building. Fear not, gentle viewer, we will build this guitar. Well, clearly I'm got 2 pieces of wood glued together and I'm making holes in them. What else am I gonna do with it? So like, subscribe, share, ringing the bell, I don't know. Do those things and know you appreciate it, and I hope you're learning something. And you know, if you're building your own custom guitars and you want a set of these things, hit me up. We could work something out. I might start selling these. This is that cool. See you next. All right, scratch that. I'm not ending the video right now because I figured out the neck angle pocket, the neck pocket angle. Oh, and one thing, just in case I didn't say it before, what I'm trying to do is figure out how to put the break angle for the neck into the neck pocket, not the neck itself, because I think that'd be groovy. I figured it out, or at least it seems I did. Let me show you what I did. The pins fit in these 2 alignment holes, right? So when I kick it up at an angle to accommodate this, as it turns out, 2.4 degree angle I need for the neck, this pin still engages with that hole. So what I need is something to elevate this up and lock everything in place. So I made this right there. I've got a hole that goes over that pin. I've got center lines that match the body and the template, and I drilled through this hole an angle and made a new pin. So now that goes there, and that goes there. And that goes there. And this goes there. So now I've got an angle, and to keep everything from moving, just adjust where my clamp is. So that's basically not going anywhere, and I'm gonna put a couple spring clamps down here at the end just to hold this in place. Bingo. All right, so I'm now going to officially call this the end of the video. Got the neck pocket at the right angle. The template worked fantastic for everything I wanted to do. I made an adjustable neck pocket angle generator, aka a hunk of wood with 3 holes in it. Yeah, life's good, man. I'm quite happy about all this. So see you next time. Thanks for watching, as always. Really appreciate it, and I'll talk to you soon. Remember that snowy shot from a little while ago? That was about 6 hours ago. What a day.